Hey, how y'all doing? This is Ric Sincere with MTMV Sports. I'm geeked to be joined today by Tampa Bay Buccaneers wide receiver Cyril Grayson. Y'all know him. Well, I know him as a Kansas City legend. Somebody who we've talked to in the past, man, and brought on the show. He's a phenomenal and very humble, but remarkably talented individual. You know his story already. We talked about it before. And if you don't know his story, go back and check out the other episode that we did. You know, he's coming from LSU, a sprinter there, got a chance to participate at a pro day and just lit it up. And after that, right, the NFL track started rolling for him. Bro, how you doing today, man?
I'm doing good, Rick. Thanks for having me again. It's good when somebody invites you back 2 times. That means you had a good experience the
Yeah.
last time. So I'm glad to be back on your show. It's dope, and I'm glad to be here because I had a good time last time. It was one of the best interviews or podcasts that I've been a part of. So thank you. I'm doing
Bro,
good.
man, I really appreciate that, man. I really appreciate that. Yo, so, we watched it, right? We watched you for actually last preseason. I was glued to the tube, man.
Yeah,
Just watching you and watching you make plays. And every time you make something, I'm like, all right, let me go ahead and post that, John, because that was sick.
yeah.
Yo, you killed the last preseason, man. We'll get into that. But let's talk about this right now. How you doing right now during this pandemic?
I'm doing pretty good. It's been a rough time for us for my family, as we've dealt with some of COVID-19. My father had it, my grandmother had it, a couple other of my family members had it. We lost a cousin. I'm not positive if um, it was from the virus or the surgery that she had prior to
Yeah.
the thing that was going on. But it's been rough in that way. But at the same time, just always looking at the bright side of things and looking at how, God's continuing to provide during this time and the time I'm getting to spend with my family more so than ever. And just excited about a new coming baby boy and just thinking about that. So that's an easy way to stay positive during this time. And I'm able to work out right now. It's outside most of the time, but it's what I'm able to do, and it helps me with a little time to fine tune more things. I'm feeling like I'm in the best shape of my life. So um, it's not a horrible time in a sense.
Yeah. Yo, big congrats on the new baby. Look, that's always a big deal, man. That's always a huge deal. Let me ask you a question. Right, you say you got a chance to work out. We'll get into your workouts in just a second, right? But look, you're from Louisiana, and I know Louisiana was really, really hard hit. Like it was one of the most hardest hit states. Why do you think that is? That Louisiana was hit so hard?
Yeah, I just think that, I mean, the reason probably with Mardi Gras happening and this, I mean, it's COVID-19 because it really started in 2019.
Yeah,
So with a lot of people not really knowing that it was going on, with some people not having symptoms, some people just thinking that it's the regular flu going around other people and stuff like that. I think that a lot of people got the contagion and then passed it around probably during that time. And then it just continued to go. And, Louisiana, New Orleans really is, they like to party, like to be outside a lot.
yeah.
So probably that has a lot to do with it. And then just people like not knowing that much about it and not taking it as serious as we should. I think that's what happened.
I feel that 100%, man. Sometimes that happens. We don't always take it seriously, should, right? Especially because we play. Not, I don't want to say play. We party so much, right?
Yeah,
So we party so much. But look, you've actually, because of the person you are, you've always been like this ever since I've known you, right? You're about charity, you're about giving back and stuff like
right.
that. And so in this case, you've linked up with the Ronald McDonald House to help families with kids during the pandemic. What made you get involved in that, and how that all come together?
Yeah, so I was priorly involved with Ronald McDonald House, the one in New Orleans actually, and I just kind of try to partner with any Ronald McDonald House whenever I get into any new city. So I know when I was in Chicago, I was trying to link up with their Ronald McDonald House, and then in New Orleans. That's when I linked up with New Orleans, and I was able to do a night with them, go there, play games, help feed them and all that type of stuff. So that was dope. And then I linked with Tampa Bay's Ronald McDonald House, and I wasn't able to go and do a tour of their facilities because of my short time there initially. So what I was able to do is reach out to them during times, and they reached out to me during this time. And I mean, obviously I can't get there right now, but the best thing that I can do is, help give a shout out or lend a hand however I can. And so we set that up, and I was able to record a video for them because I believe in what they're doing, helping out families and stuff like that. So anybody that I believe in, anything, any organization that I believe in, I want to help out, because especially if I can just say a word, what's that gonna hurt me? Just to say, could y'all please help? You know what I'm saying? So that's how that happened, and that's amazing. And I'm also thinking about other ways that I can help, maybe to feed some people or whatever. I'm linking up with some of my friends right now, trying to figure out how we can raise some money to feed some of these nurses that's in New York, and maybe some local ones as well.
I love that, man. It's always a big deal when people who have a platform use it, right, to actually do their absolute best to help people. And that's kind of what I'm saying. That's what I saw from your video, like when you were, kind of saying, hey, give. If you can, go ahead and give. You made some other videos we're gonna get into too in a little bit.
The way you said that, I'm kind of nervous. I think
but no, I really did appreciate that. And most people who are fans of yours or who watch you play, right, and who kind of pay attention to your story, I'm sure they appreciate the fact that you've always been a guy who gets and then wants to give back. You know what I mean? I think that's awesome, bro. Look, last season, I talked about this a little bit earlier. Remember, I said we was like glued to the tube all preseason, checking you out and kind of watching you do your thing. You played for the Saints last preseason, and you were making plays, man. I mean, I know you saw us put him up. Like when we saw him, hey, got to put that up. You was killing it. One of the fastest dudes on the field, right? You put your best foot forward. But what do you think ultimately went into the decision for them kind of, releasing you from the New Orleans Saints?
Yeah, I just think that it was special teams play or whatever. It wasn't that I wasn't good enough in my special teams play. I feel like I made a couple plays. I was around the ball and doing some things there. But ultimately, when Deontay returned those balls in the preseason, and his history of what he could do, and obviously it paid off for him a lot. I think that played a big part. I thought at least maybe they'll keep me around on practice squad if I didn't get claimed. But, I mean, they didn't, so I don't know what was going on in the front office. It was a little weird to me because I did feel like I put my best foot forward. I did feel like I belonged there. I felt like I earned, some right to be there, especially with some other guys being hurt or going on to IR and stuff like that. I thought that maybe I would get a chance, So you never know what's going on in the front office, what they're thinking and stuff like that. But they pay those guys for a reason, and, they made their decision or whatever. They had a lot of good players too. So it is what it is. Obviously, I would have liked to be there and a part of that team and not be off most of the season. But it is what it is. Just taking the journey the way that wherever it takes me.
Look, that was a situation because it was you and even when I was watching, I was like, dang, this might come down to him and Deontay Harris. Like this may come down to right there. You know what I mean? Even though as a receiver, you were making more plays.
Yeah.
Like that was clear. You were making more plays as a receiver to me. But when I thought about kick returning, it would probably kind of come down to that. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, but like I said, you killed. You put a great product on the field, and you really did well. So it wasn't too long after that where you're headed to a new squad. I remember actually kind of seeing, I think it was like halfway through the season, I'm seeing the XFL come up, and I'm like, I wonder if Cyril go to the XFL. And then I was like, well, let me see where he at with that. As soon as I reached out, he was like, hey man, I'm with Tampa. I'm like,
Yeah.
do your thing, bro. How'd the whole Tampa situation come about?
Yeah. So maybe 4 or 5 weeks into the season, they flew me out to work out, and at that time they didn't really have any moves that they were really gonna make. So I ended up back home, and then I'm working out. I'm watching their roster move around and stuff like that. People were going down because they were one of the teams that reached out. So I'm trying to keep an eye because they told me that I did a good job. So just the season going on, and then ended up signing to Dallas's practice squad for literally 1 week. And as soon as I signed there, Tampa called me up, and then we was able to get things rolling those last couple weeks of the season. So, I mean, that's how that happened. I guess maybe a lot of injuries played into the part, but the cards played in my favor at that time. So.
Yo, was it a good situation that you were on a practice squad? That way they kind of had to sign you off of a practice squad as opposed to just kind of picking you up as a free agent?
For me, yeah, because if they wanted to just sign me, they wouldn't have been able to just bring me onto their practice squad. I mean, maybe they could have made an offer or whatever, and I could have took it, but they would have had to give me more money. So I guess it kind of played into a good situation for me. And then it kind of gave me a little bit of a bargaining chip as well. If Dallas wanted to keep me there, they could have elevated me, or they could have let me go or give me more money. However, it would have worked. But becoming active was the goal, and that's what Tampa was doing. So that's why I ended up over there.
Yo, I would love some insight on what is it like when you're in a practice squad. Like if you're a practice squad guy, what is that life like?
Yeah. So the practice squad life and active player life is exactly the same, except on Sundays. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
You're not playing in the games. You prepare just like you're gonna play, because you never know if somebody might get hurt or something like that, and you have to get elevated and play that weekend. But most of the time, you're gonna run like those scout team offensive plays. You're gonna take those reps mainly. That's what the job is, to be the other team for that week. But as far as the daily schedule go, you're doing everything, every meeting, every special teams meeting, every offensive meeting, just like the regular team. So it's just 10 extra players that's helping the team out with a little bit less pay though. Obviously you want to get all of that money though, and it's really a week by week contract. I mean, you sign it over a year, but just like all of the contracts really are week by week, because they can release you and pick you up whenever they want to. So that's like kind of the life of a practice squad in a nutshell.
So it feels week to week. It feels like you never know, and if you're kind of not cutting the mustard, this could be it.
Yeah, I mean, every day you feel like that whenever you're on, either the practice squad, or if you're not one of the top guys on the roster, you see that as well. Sometimes you see people get elevated to the active roster, then back on the practice squad. And, the only tough thing about those people, like the good thing is, like if someone's seen you play, once you go into the practice squad, you get on waivers. So other teams can claim you off of other practice squads. So once you get active, the chances, if you're doing the right thing, you won't really go back down to practice squad, because they can lose you, So
Yeah, facts. They can lose you if they put you on that practice squad. Any team can sign you from at any point like that, right?
Right.
Yo, so when you were with Tampa last year, was there any clue at all that they would morph into what they've morphed into now?
I had no idea. I was still wide-eyed and just learning what was going on there at that moment. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the year meetings, you kind of saw, you didn't know like what the quarterback situation would be with Jameis getting into that point where it was like almost a contract year for him or something like that, like the end of his rookie deal. So not really knowing what was going to happen there. And then, you're at home and we don't really hear too much what's going on, or we kind of hear the rumors like everybody else. And, we're kind of just watching and trying to see what was going on. And then, they make the signing Tom Brady and then Gronk and then all these things. And now it's a whole different offense. So I'm excited to see what it's going to be like. I wasn't super familiar with the last group besides the last couple of weeks of the season. So I feel like I'm new too, and I'm a new piece of the puzzle, and we can all work together and build something that's going to be great.
How excited, like, what's the vibe now for those people who've kind of been there and they've been on Tampa's roster? They were there last year. Like, you lose Jameis, right? And then you get Tom Brady. What's the vibe like? Like, even in that receiver room, I know it's different. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if y'all exchange a text. I don't know what's going on, but like, what's the vibe like as a receiver, possibly getting ready to throw the, like, have your quarterback be Tom Brady? What is that feeling like?
Yeah, I think everybody's excited about that. Just from small phone calls or text messages or watching other people's posts, I think that everybody's excited about what he can do for our offense, his mind, as well as his ability. So I think that everybody's ready to eat. They think that we can make some good things happen with him. I think that we have a lot of weapons in the receiver room as well as in the tight ends room, in the backfield. So I think that with a quarterback like Tom, that is going to be, we can be real dangerous.
Look, you've played 2 games last season with Tampa, right?
Right.
And you spent your offseason with New Orleans. So what's the difference in those wide receiver rooms? Like, is there a clear difference between those wide receiver rooms and one in Tampa and one in New Orleans?
Um, I think there's some good similarities. There's, 2 older guys, not really super old, and Chris Godwin not super old. Mike Evans isn't super old, but good veterans. And I think that it was the same way with Michael Thomas and Tegan. Tegan, was a dinosaur, and but the knowledge of the game was there, as well as Mike Thomas and stuff like that. So I think that those 2 guys being like the leaders of the rooms on both sides were good because they could say things here and there and coach us up. And then like the coaches in the rooms with Coach CJ and Coach Kevin, they're both good minds. And then Randall L is the assistant with Tampa Bay. So it's really good. We get to have like a lot of good minds in those rooms, and just is amazing. I'm excited to be around those people, and I think I'm growing already. So we have a lot of young people as well as like good football minds, you know what I'm saying? So I think that is good similarities, and I'm glad we get to go against them 2 times a year as well, so I can, see some of my friends, and, hopefully I get to do some damage, so I can feel good, like, okay, you guys let me go. So now, maybe this is what you guys are missing out on, hopefully.
I feel like, yo, look, one thing is I'm gonna really hate is if I see you going deep, Tom hits you on a deep bomb and you score a touchdown. I'm gonna feel so mixed, bro. Like, I'm not gonna even know how to feel. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be like, yes, wait.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yo, I love the fact. Go ahead.
That's how it is, for my family as well. Obviously, I think they're maybe a bigger fan of me than they are the Saints, but they're really diehard Saints fans as well. So I know it's going to be like people already text me, I'm going to root for you, but I'm not rooting for the Bucks and stuff like that. It's just different things like that. So it's fun.
I'm gonna treat it like a fantasy football situation, bro. That's kind of how I'm gonna treat it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I'm gonna treat it like that. Like when you score and be like, "Good job, awesome," right? But I'm still cheering for the ultimate win for the.
Yeah.
Yo, so look, you mentioned earlier that you're growing, right, and that you're getting better in those areas. You've recently been working with DeFonte Diamond, right, as a trainer. And I don't know if I'm saying his name right. Is DelFonte?
DeLFonte, yeah.
Yeah, DelFonte Diamond. So what led to that decision to start working out with him as a trainee? And then what type of results are you seeing from that investment?
Yeah. So I stay in Houston in the off season, and the reason why I chose Houston first of all is because they have so many different facilities and so many good trainers and stuff like that. And I think that you can see that in their high school products, right? They have a lot of high school players that end up in those 4-star, 5-star rankings, and they put a lot of great guys out every year, guys that's in the league. And I think it's because they invest in the training aspect. In New Orleans, you'll have a couple trainers here and there, but it's not as vast as it is in Houston or in Dallas. So I like to come and get my training in Texas. And maybe last year I started working with DelFonte, and he just works on, reactionary stuff that's football stuff, quick twitch and all of that, working on my feet placement when I'm running routes, when I'm coming out of breaks and all of that. As well as him, I'm working with this guy, Justin Allen, strength and conditioning, also agility, stuff like that as well. So it's been good. That's why I'm here in Texas. Let's see. But yeah, I chose DelFonte because I saw one of my boys, Stephen Dunbar, and Marcus Johnson working with them initially. And, I reached out to them like, what's up with DelFonte or whatever? Can I come and get some work with them? And then ever since then, we connected, and we're, more than just a trainer client relationship now. We have a prayer line that we do every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so we get on there and we speak and we pray for each other, and it's a lot of other people who end up getting on. So that's why I work with him. I like to work with people who I don't have to just be, trainer client, but we can build a relationship, because obviously life is so much bigger than football and stuff like that. And he helps build my faith as well as continue to get me right on the field.
I noticed that about him. Like if you even like see him on Twitter and stuff like that, right? It's a lot of encouragement. It's a lot of words. And when I say words, it's a lot of word from the Bible, right? Like
Right.
there's a lot of like scripture and stuff like that. So yeah, I think it's a unique situation to find a trainer who's that plugged in, right, to his faith, and I think that's a big situation. Let me ask this: so you saw the schedule, right? You know
Right.
what week one look like.
Yeah.
How big how big will that game be as a tone setter for the season?
I think that the first game is always a good way to set the tone, But an NFC South matchup with Tom Brady and Drew Brees, I think that it's going to be a great game, great fans in front of great fans in New Orleans, right? And then when we hear them quiet, I think that it's just going to have us feeling real good for the rest of the season. And then they'll come back down to Tampa, about 4 or 5 weeks later. And then our crowd will be loud, and you'll hear that cannon going off. And I think that it'll be great. Nah, but I just think that it'll be a good matchup. It'll be good for what everybody wants right now, and it's just sports being back on TV, and I think that that'll be a good start.
So you bought all the way in, right? Like you all the way in. Like you're a Tampa Bay Buccaneer now. That's what it is, and you
Yeah,
really feel like you bought all the way into that.
I always buy into whatever team, whoever I'm a part of. You know, that's what I like to do because they write the checks.
Amen. I love it, yo. I love it. And look, and if people didn't catch the first interview, man, they'll get a flavor for how you like what's that confidence like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What's that confidence is like. That's what's up. Let's hop into these quick hitters, man. And here's what I'll do, right? You're number 15. And so I got 15 questions already lined up for you. Got 15 questions, right? You can pick 1 through 15. You give me a number, and I'll give you the question associated with that number. And when I do, right, it's just the first thought that comes to your mind. You ready to rock?
Let's see what we got. First number that we're gonna go with is 12.
Bet. I love it. Bruce Arians is a blank coach that focuses on blank the most.
Bruce Arians is a great coach that focuses on being great the most.
I love it. All right. Give me another number.
Let's go with 10.
All right, 10. Number 10. Who's the fastest player on the Bucs roster currently?
Cyril Grayson.
Okay. I love it. Look, the funny part is when I wrote it, I already knew the answer. All right, give me another number.
13.
13. All right. Oh, I don't know. All right. Who's the strongest arm quarterback you've played with outside of Brees and Brady? I give you the out. So outside of Brees and Brady, right? Who's the strongest arm quarterback you've ever played with?
Russell Wilson.
Bad. Okay.
Jacoby Brissett, he threw the ball hard.
So you felt that too?
Yeah, he threw it hard.
All right, I love it. All right, give me another number.
3.
Here we go. Best response to your make your own LYSOL wipes video.
What
you got?
Make sure you use the 90% alcohol.
Okay.
this one, look.
That's done. Yo, like what was the general response to that video? I loved it. I was like, bet, okay. I see. Yeah. What was the general response?
So I got some people, clowning about asking me why I slapped my head so hard. And then there's the people who says that I'm going to blow something up because I'm mixing all these chemicals together. And then there's those people like, man, thank you for making that because we can't find LYSOL wipes anywhere.
Yeah.
I think that was a really good idea, so that's usually kind of the response.
Bet. Big facts. Okay. All right. Go ahead. Let's go with 3 more. Give me another number.
Let's go with 14.
14. All right. Here we go. I think the further you get down, the questions get a little different. Is calling a wide receiver slow the same as calling his mama out of her name?
No.
Okay.
No.
It's not.
Some wide receivers are slow, but they still got the juice. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
For instance, I know if he was to hear this, he don't really feel bad. Like Jarvis Landry isn't fast.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But he got juice. Like he can stop and go. He can catch the ball. That don't make him, a bad receiver. He's a Pro Bowler, but he's not fast. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But see, that's the thing. Like, he's not fast, but and this is a question. I'm like, would you outright to his face be like, "Yeah, you slow, but you still good, but you slow"?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's not calling his mom out his name. So
Okay.
out of those two, no. It's
Okay.
not.
Bet. Okay. Here we go. All right. Give me another number.
15.
You liked it. All right. This was kind of cool though. Give me the best NFL prospect the world has never heard of yet.
Yet?
Mm-hmm. Outside of
So
Cyril Grayson.
on the way.
Because they've heard of you.
Or somebody that's already in the league.
Somebody on their way up. Maybe they're on their way up. Maybe they've been in the league. Maybe you've been training with them. Like somebody who like we just haven't heard of yet for real.
Let's see. I would say like I was thinking of my little cousin because how talented he is, and just watching him play and how he plays. He's about probably 8 or 9. Jace Newman. Jace Newman. Keep the name in your mind.
Bet. Okay, Jace Newman.
Jace Newman. He's a beast.
Got the family speed or what?
Oh, yeah, he a beast.
Right.
He a monster, yeah. He probably one of the best 9-year-olds I ever saw. However old he is, yeah, he's real good.
Who he playing with right now?
Some elite team. They travel and play all over the place. But yeah.
So he's on a travel team right now.
Yeah, he's on the travel team.
Bad. Okay. Give me the name again. Jace Newman.
Jace Newman.
Jace Newman. All right. Hey, look, if you out there, you listening, man, keep watch. Jace Newman. We'll keep a look out for Jace Newman.
Cornerback, running back, wide receiver, whatever.
Word?
Yeah.
Bet.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Got one more. Here we go.
One more. Let's go with number one.
Number one. Best thing you've done since the quarantine started?
Best thing I've done since the quarantine started. Cook something. Cook some.
What you working up with that? What you cooking up?
Cooking up some crawfish lasagna.
What?
Yeah.
Bruh.
Yeah, I'm a secret chef.
I didn't know that.
I don't like to cook no more though.
Oh, for real?
Nah.
Man.
But it's not that I don't like to cook no more. I just don't cook no more. I have a personal chef.
Oh, word?
Yeah.
You got somebody in the house saying I noticed you have to look out.
I've been cooking more though lately.
Bet. Okay.
That's not. Am I telling the truth or no? Okay.
Bet. Yo, we got so a few. Okay, I'm gonna give you some of the questions we missed out on. Right. Weirdest moment in quarantine. Best Netflix show right now. First response. You missed a lot of the first response questions, right? So first response to when Brady came. First response to Gronk. First response to Emmanuel Sanders signing with the Saints. And then the other one was where were you when LSU won the title? First response to when you heard Jameis was headed to NOLA. And then scale of 1 to 10, how'd you feel when Teddy went to Carolina, right? So
10.
All those, word.
Yeah, I felt good about it. Just because he deserved it. You know what I'm saying?
Teddy's a good dude, bro. To be honest with you, and I've never met that dude in person. Not once, and never talked to him. But just his vibe and seeing how he moves and operates and watching what he did for the kids in New Orleans, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He kind of feels like he gave me the same feeling I got from you when you were talking about your nonprofit the last time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How's that going, by the way?
It's going good. Right now it's slow. The last thing that we were doing was trying to set up a scholarship fund for some kids going into college this next year. And we were setting up ways to kind of raise money and be a part of Give NOLA and stuff like that. But everything's kind of slowed down a little bit right now with this and everybody trying to get things together. And it's kind of hard to ask for money from people whenever you have some more serious things that's going on. So we'll probably have some meetings and reevaluate some things so that we can get things. But we're definitely way further. I don't think we had officially launched. I don't know if we had officially launched the last time that we talked, but we have had like a launch party and all of that, and got a lot of different things in place. So that's what's going on with that.
Bet. And you know how we get down here, man. Like at the very end of it, we want to know, how can we pray for you at this point in this season in your life, right? Because now you're going into a new situation, right?
Yeah.
Tom Brady's there, Gronk's there, Evans is there, Godwin's there, right? It's a lot of stuff going on in Tampa, man. And we want to make sure that we keep you prayed up. So how can we do it?
We can pray for me and my family right now. Getting ready to be new parents.
Big deal.
Want to pray for just health throughout this whole season and just continue growth all the time.
Amen. Yeah. Yo, thank you so much for joining us, bro. We really, really appreciate you, man. We
Yeah, I
appreciate you coming.
appreciate you. Thank you.
Absolutely. All right, y'all. If y'all out there listening, y'all know what it is. Go ahead and give us that 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts. We really appreciate you listening. We thank you for watching, and we will see you later. God bless.
Right.